Nick Gillard recently released the original cut footage of the duel between Count Dooku and Anakin Skywalker in Coruscant, and trust us when we say it is way better than the duel that made it into the movie. Welcome to Star Wars Deconstructed, students of the Force and acolytes of the galaxy. Whether you're a Jedi, Sith, or somewhere in between, join us today as we bring some of the details of this video and the things that make it even better than the version that made the movie. Deleted footage and scene cuts are no strangers to the movie industry. Directors, producers, and other decision makers in a movie have to make a decision on which scenes make the final cut and which ones get removed. And most times, their decisions end up being the best. Viewers get treated to the best takes and scenes in the movie, and everyone goes home happy. But sometimes, very cool scenes get cut from movies, and we're left asking, why did we not get to see this one? This exact scenario is the case for Star Wars fans all over the world, as a new video started making the rounds recently. This video gives us a sneak peek into the original fight that was planned for Anakin and Count Dooku's duel in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The stunt director of the movie, Nick Gillard, dug up this footage, and it's like a goldmine for Star Wars fans. First off, who is Nick Gillard, and how could he have gotten his hands on this clip? Well, Nick Gillard, famously known as the Swordmaster, is a movie stuntman and coordinator who gained widespread recognition for his work. He's best known as the person in charge of stunts for the Star Wars prequel trilogy. In Revenge of the Sith, he even had a small on-screen role as Jedi Master Sindralik, his name spelled backwards, though he didn't get credit for it in the Episode 3 credits. Notably, he was also the top choice of Mark Hamill, who wanted Gillard as his stunt double in Return of the Jedi. So in this video, you've got Hayden Christensen, the guy who played Anakin, and the stunt actor for Count Dooku practicing the final part of their epic duel right at the beginning of the movie. And to show how epic this duel was, the video got more than 4.5 million views on Twitter alone within just 5 days. In the video, we see that the duel took place between Count Dooku and Anakin Skywalker alone, without the interference of Obi-Wan. This is consistent with other canon and Star Wars material that showed that Obi-Wan would have been separated from Anakin before he met up with the Count. As the fight starts, we see Dooku approach the fight like the last time. This is a brief reminder that this duel was not the first time Anakin and Dooku faced off in a fight. The first time was their fight on Geonosis in the arena, towards the climax of Star Wars Episode 3, Attack of the Clones, where Dooku beat Anakin silly and severed his arm. So with this memory in mind, Dooku approached the fight reminiscent of his victory over Anakin the last time they squared off. We see this because the Count started the duel, wielding his lightsaber and fighting with only one hand. The style is also similar to how Darth Vader fought Luke Skywalker in Cloud City. But as the fight progressed, it became apparent that this duel was way different from the last, and Dooku had to readjust and started wielding his lightsaber with both hands. This simple and almost inconsequential detail indicated the matchup in power and skill between the two. The same Anakin that Dooku had previously beaten silly in the last encounter now required the utmost concentration and strength to handle. In quick succession, Anakin punches Dooku in the face before kicking him off the platform to continue the fight. At this point, the two duelists seem evenly matched. The intensity of the duel increased, the pace picked up, and the overall fight choreography was simply amazing to watch. It was at that point that Anakin flipped over the Count, the same way he tried to do with Obi-Wan during their fight on Mustafar. After the flip, the two locked their lightsabers and exchanged words over a few seconds. The details of what was said at this point are not clear, but the effect on Anakin Skywalker was clear for all to see. It made him angry, and as his anger grew, so did his strength and concentration. As they locked the sabers again, the Jedi pushed the sabers right into Dooku's face, momentarily blinding him. At this point, it is clear that Dooku is overwhelmed and outpowered. The Count tried a last-ditch move of trying to cut off Anakin's arm as he did on Geonosis. This is where Anakin showed an immense improvement in his skill with the lightsaber. Anakin actually lets go of his lightsaber for a brief moment, and then catches it midair using his other hand while Count Dooku is swinging his blade at him. It's like Jedi acrobatics at its finest. This move not only saved Anakin's arm, but it also ended the duel as Anakin ended up with both his lightsaber and that of Dooku's, effectively disarming his opponent, literally and figuratively. Star Wars fans commented on the video and showed that they really loved how Hayden Christensen nailed his character's lightsaber skills and personality. He's just on point, and folks can't stop praising him. But here's the real juicy bit. The behind the scenes clip gives us a peek into Anakin's fighting style. The clip shows how aggressive Anakin became, and also showcases his crazy complex lightsaber technique. You know that move Anakin pulled off? It was like a sneak peek into what makes him tick. We're talking about his daring nature and his insane combat skills. And the interesting thing is that the move kind of hints at his later plunge into the dark side. It's all about how he just shrugs off the danger like it's no big deal. It's a clear sign of his tendency to take risks without batting an eye. Now get this, that video not only gives us a front row seat to some awesome lightsaber action by the actors, but it also changes how we see Anakin and Dooku's dynamic. Remember when Dooku sliced off Anakin's arm in Attack of the Clones? Well, in this duel, Anakin's got his cybernetic arm, and he went all ballistic during the fight. He is like, hey, I've got nothing to lose, and it is wild to see how he's ready to put it all on the line, even if it means another arm, just to take on Dooku. Emotions are a huge deal in the Star Wars universe, especially for Jedi. They're supposed to be calm and in control of their emotions, as well as stay connected to the Force. But as Grandmaster Yoda once said in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, after his assessment of the then 9-year-old Anakin, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Little Anakin had a fear issue, and now that he's grown up, anger has become his go-to emotion, especially when he's in a fight. Like, you can practically feel the fire in his moves. And that cool move where Anakin kind of baits Dooku with his hands? Genius move. It was that technique that brought the fight to an end and marked the end for Dooku. The technique is probably influenced by their past battles. Anakin has got a history with Dooku, and you can bet that's pushing him to show off his strength. The insecurities and bitterness stemming from the Jedi's failure to recognize his true value becomes a pivotal catalyst in Anakin's descent into the dark side. Despite possessing remarkable skills, Anakin's excessive self-assurance and his compulsion to validate his worth form a dangerous blend that ultimately leads to his downfall. The act of accusing Obi-Wan of underestimating him marks a critical moment just before Anakin's near-fatal encounter on Mustafar. As Count Dooku phrases it on the onset of the duel, double the pride, double the fall. Anakin's pride and his readiness to stake everything, even his own limbs, in pursuit of his ambitions serve as the conduits that steer him into Darth Sidious's grasp. His determination to rescue Padme from potential doom drives him to explore Sith's knowledge, and in his pursuit of this information from Darth Sidious, he betrays the Jedi Order. Although the scene reviewed in this video didn't make it to the final version of Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, Anakin's daring lightsaber maneuver not only aptly showcases his combat prowess, but also indicates the fatal flaw that ultimately shapes his transformation into Darth Vader. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe and watch the next one.